Now, there are examples by knowing this example, it help us to understand why spiritual friends are very, very important. To begin with, guide. Like sometimes, like for instance, if you want to visit anywhere, and you need a guide. If you do not have a guide, qualified guide, you may get lost. You may wander for a long time, and then sometimes even becomes a danger to one's life. So that's what happened, because once we embark practice, there is no turning back. You have to keep moving. So there are so many dangers that you may face, and without a proper guidance of your spiritual friend, you may wander into wrong belief, or you may wander into Savakayana path or Pratika Buddhayana path. So when you follow a spiritual friend, the spiritual friend will guide you wherever you want to go. So it is very, very important. Now, the second example also help us to understand why spiritual friend is so important, like an escort. Like when you go to certain areas, there could be danger to your life. It's not just you will lose your belonging, and sometimes you may even lose your life. That will be the worst. So similarly, once you follow the path of enlightenment, when you carry your merits to bring to the city of Buddhahood, and if you don't have a spiritual friend, and this time, the robbers are not someone that we meet outside, some accidentally, but this is more serious. The robbers, or so-called thief, are referred to our thoughts, our inner thoughts. So inner thoughts, our wrong thoughts, may bring us to wrong place, and you will not just lose your merits, you will lose your direction, and eventually you may end up in samsara. Yeah. So it is very dangerous not to have a spiritual friend. And finally, spiritual friend is like a boatman. Even if you sit inside a boat, if you do not know how to ride boat, you may get stuck inside the storm and you may die there. That happens many times. So we need a boatman to bring us to other part of the shore. So similarly, spiritual friend is the one who can guide us, and who can show us the right way, the right path, so that we can reach our destiny. So these are the purpose why spiritual friend is so important. Now, classification. There are 4 kinds of spiritual friend. Ordinary spiritual friend, spiritual friend who have attained higher bhumis like bodhisattvas, spiritual friend who is in nirmanakaya form, and spiritual friend who is in sambhogakaya form. So these are the 4 different spiritual friends. Now, beginner like us, which kind of spiritual friend is suitable for us? We cannot have a spiritual friend of Sambhogakaya or even Nirmanakaya or Bodhisattvas who are in higher bhumis. So only spiritual friend that you can depend on is ordinary spiritual friend. Because when you have an ordinary spiritual friend, you are able to communicate. You are able to relate your problem to your spiritual friend. Otherwise, if you stand in front of Buddha's image and you try to communicate with Buddha, it may take millions of years after something you make it something, you know. Nothing will happen. Even after a million years, you can't communicate. You know, it's like trying to talk with the aliens, you know. So we can't, you know. Even Buddha maybe like eagerly want to communicate with you, but then we may not able to communicate. We don't have that language. And we don't even know what Buddha speaks, what kind of language Buddha speaks. Now what is important is our ordinary spiritual friend. Like when you have a problem, you can call your spiritual friend. When you have a problem, you can email to a spiritual friend, ordinary spiritual friend, or teacher. But if you have a problem, how can you email to Buddha? How can you call to Buddha? Because there's no IDT code number. You know, so no way you can communicate with Buddha, yeah? Unless, you know, you have abandoned, eradicate a degree of your poison or so-called emotion, then you are able to communicate. As we have learned yesterday, sometimes it's difficult to say, you know, if as long as you have an unshakable devotion to Buddha and Bodhisattva, there are many cases, there are many stories that, you know, even like ordinary human being is able to communicate with Buddha. There are many stories, not necessarily only Rinpoche or Lama or highly enlightened gurus. That is not the case at all. Even ordinary human being, if you have a pure, unshakable devotion to your guru, to Buddha, you are able to communicate. There's a story, you know, in Tibet, there was a son, only son, and the mother was so devoted to Buddha Shakyamuni, so son was traveling to India for business trip. So, you know, of course she's from village, and she told her son that when you go to India, make sure that you get me one Buddha's tooth, you know. How to get Buddha's tooth? From where? You can't find anywhere, you know. So on the way back, suddenly the son remembered about Buddha's tooth. So where to find Buddha's tooth? No way, even you have money, you can't find, you know. So on the way, you know, the son saw one corpse of, you know, a dead body of dog, you know, corpse of a dog, and he extracted one tooth from the dog. So he brought this dog's tooth to mom, you know, his mother, and gave it to her, told her that, oh, this is Buddha's tooth, you know. And she was overjoyed, and, you know, she make prostration, she make offering, and in fact one day there was a relic was born out of this tooth. That happened. It's a very famous story. So that shows that not how much Buddha is powerful. It is how much devotion that we are able to generate. And sometimes even we may have bones of holy gurus, or even bones from maybe Buddha. I don't think we will have any relics because we lack this strong devotion. Yeah. So this is something that's very difficult to say how and you know, how it works. You know, but it happens. But for generally, if you are looking for a spiritual friend, that means you have to look for someone who understands, who can communicate, you know, you can communicate with, you know, otherwise you can't, you know. So ordinary spiritual friend is the most important, yeah.